Hello everyone, it is Scary Makeup List Jazz here, and today I am doing the second day challenge for the summer biannual bibliothon, which is a get ready with me challenge, and basically we have to find a bookish way to do a get ready with me. So for a really long time I've always wanted to do a makeup look based on this Seeing Red book cover, and this is the second book in Frank Bador's Looking Glass Wars series. So Red is basically the Red Queen because it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, and I always thought she looked like super villainous and cool. So today I'm going to try to do a look like this and maybe do some Bookstagram type photos with my look. Thought it might be fun while attempting this look to do the TMI tag Booktube edition, because it seems like beauty gurus always answer questions while they're doing a get ready with me, and I've always wanted to do this tag, but it's super long, so I thought it would be a good one to do while doing something else like my makeup. So that's it. We're gonna get really started now, and I just am anxious to get makeup on my face. Probably going to be looking all over the place because, you know, I've got a lot going on, and I'm also trying to, you know, do makeup by looking in the viewfinder and in this mirror that I have down here. First question is, whose clothing style from a book character do you love? I feel like Isabel Lightwood from The Mortal Instruments comes to mind. I just like that she can do her thing, her shadow hunter thing, in these really cool dresses that she seems to always wear when she is doing her fighting demons. Your book boyfriend or crush? I love Richard Mayhew from Everywhere. He is my bookish crush. He's one of my few. I don't have a ton, but I do have probably more fictional crushes than, you know, non-fictional crushes. Have you ever started out loving a character and then ended up hating that character? I usually feel like I dislike a character right from the tippy top. I guess the closest I could think of would maybe be Triss from the Divergent series, but I didn't really fall in love with Triss right at the front of the books. I thought she was kind of okay in the beginning. That's when she started to get on my nerves towards the end of the series. It wasn't that heartbreaking. The biggest / longest book on my shelf. I have several bind-ups, but as a full just one story book, I would say it would be The Stand by Stephen King. Heaviest book on your shelf? Probably Comic Book Tattoo, which is a collection of stories that are written around Tori Amos songs. So this is a really kind of oddly shaped graphic novel, and it's a very big square, super heavy, and it is almost 500 pages. It's just a little under 500 pages. Do you have any book posters? And that one's easy to answer because no. Do you have any book themed jewelry? So I can't find the other earring today, but one day I just wanted some book earrings, some just earrings shaped like books. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I got these little bead things that look like this, that are books, and I put them on a little hanging earring thingamajig, a hook, and thus I immediately had book earrings. Book OTP. So I have a pretty strict top 5 that I don't deviate from, and on that type 5, the ones that kind of come up at the top are Jane Eyre and Mr. Rochester from Jane Eyre, and Anne and Gilbert from Anne of Green Gables. Under that is Benedict and Beatrice from Much Ado About Nothing, Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, and also I just love Rhett and Scarlett from Gone with the Wind, even though they have a lot of issues. but I still hold out for the idea that they might work all those issues out. Favorite book series. For fantasy, I say the Mirrorwood series by Jeff Wheeler. For sci-fi, I would say Otherland, which I just finished by Tad Williams. And for just normal bookness, obviously Anne of Green Gables. Favorite book to movie soundtrack. I have a lot of favorites, but I'm going to go with The Graduate. A book or story that you miss and wish would continue. I don't think I have an answer for this because I like standalones better than series. Also, I feel like I reread a lot, so I can always revisit that story. Favorite standalone. That would be Winter of Fire. It is no longer in print, which makes me hurt inside. It is a fabulous, fabulous book, and if you ever can find it used, please go and read it. Since when do you read books? I guess this is when I started being an avid reader. I have always been an avid reader since I learned how to read. Which Hogwarts house are you in? Now, a lot of you know that I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but I love weird quizzes when I'm bored, so I have taken the Hogwarts house quiz twice. And the first time I ended up getting Hufflepuff, but the second time I ended up getting Ravenclaw. So I don't know what to think about that. I think Ravenclaw is more what I am now. Even though I have like the heart of a Hufflepuff, from what I can understand, they're supposed to be really good at finding stuff, and that is not me. Quality you look for in a book. I really like character-driven stories, and I also really enjoy a nice writing style. Favorite book quote. I'm going to go with that one that Tyrion says famously in the first Game of Thrones book. Haven't read all of the Game of Thrones books, just that first one, but that quote is really good. I'll put it on the screen because I'm just gonna misquote the crap out of it, and you can't misquote Tyrion. But I did watch all of the TV show, guys, so you don't have to worry about spoiling me anymore on the TV show of Game of Thrones, just FYI. Favorite authors. Neil Gaiman, Stephen King, Laurie Halse Anderson, and now that I've read like 5 Tad Williams books, I feel safe to like possibly add him to the list. Favorite book cover. I'm going to go yet again with Comic Book Tattoo because I just think the book cover is like super cool. Doing a lot of contouring because she's an evil character and we want to make her look as red and evil as we possibly can. So I'm not even going to do blush because I want her face to kind of be pale in the center for this makeup look. Action or romance. 100% action. Unless it's like a quirky romance, I get so incredibly bored. I can't decide what highlighter to wear. Like this rainbowy one makes me look kind of otherworldly and weird, but this one kind of has like a cool gold sheen when I use the gold, so I'm on the fence. Maybe I'll just use both. She's like not necessarily human, right? She's a Wonderlandian. She can be as highlighted as we like. Where do you go when a sad moment happens? I don't go anywhere. I just stay where I am. It takes a lot for a book to make me cry, so I don't feel the need to like go somewhere when I'm gonna like cry, except sometimes if I've read the book before I know a sad part is coming, I will kind of, you know, go ahead and go somewhere, I guess, or wait till I get home and not in public. How long do you need to finish a book? I think that just depends. I usually, I guess, would say, depending on the book, I need maybe 2 days to 4 weeks, maybe, because I read a lot of books at the same time. How long is your book mourning period? I do not have book mourning periods, I think, because I do reread so often, so that is not a thing. Least favorite book. So you all know that my 2 top least favorite books of all least favoriteness are Promise Valley Rebellion and Slice of Cherry. Just don't. Turn on in a character. I would say really strong wit and like a strong sense of sarcastic humor I enjoy. Turn off in a character, and I would say general whiningness and also probably just a lack of self-awareness can be really annoying in a character. The reason I joined Booktube, I feel like one of the main reasons that I joined Booktube was because I have this learning difference called dyspraxia. It's a neurological disorder. It kind of interferes with a lot of your physical coordination and stuff, but another thing that it does is it kind of, when you write, really takes you a long while to write. It's hard for you to put things in like an order that makes sense. So I was doing a book blog, and it just kind of got to the point where it was taking me a really long time to get book blogs out just because of my brain being kind of hiccupy. So I decided instead that I would try to Booktube. This was actually before I even discovered like Booktube for real. I just thought it'd be so much easier if I could make videos. And then I discovered Booktube and I was like, I have to do this. Also, the community is so fun. Name a scary book. I'm going to go with Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. The ghost in it is extremely vengeful. You know it's bad when like a ghost follows you on a road trip. Like that's what that ghost was like. So I'm gonna go with Heart-Shaped Box. Last book that made you cry. Like I said, I don't cry very often, but I think the last book that made me cry might have been Clockwork Princess. I cried like, I don't know how many times while reading that book, and I thought, I'm not a big crier, so I'm not gonna cry even though everybody says they cry. Shh, I cried. Last book that you gave 5 stars, and that would be Otherland, Sea of Silver Light, the 4th book in the and final book in the Otherland series. I really massively enjoyed it and thought it was super, super cool. And it is just one of the best sci-fi series I've ever flipping read. It was so, so good. Any favorite book titles? Unfortunately, the book that had one of my favorite book titles was actually a book that I ended up not liking, and that would be Her Fearful Symmetry. The title is awesome, and I kind of wish I could take that title and it wasn't already used and write my own book the way I want it to be. Last book I read, which was also Otherland, Sea of Silver Light. The lipstick goes on so much better if you put some lip balm on and your lips aren't all dry. That is way too much lip balm. Book you are currently reading. So that book would be Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and his son Owen King. Last book adaptation that you watched, and that would be the 2017 PBS adaptation of Little Women. It was so good, y'all, and I cried every single one of those 3 episodes. I wasn't expecting that, but it just really got me in the feels. I think now I have literally seen every adaptation of Little Women except for the ones that are modernized that I'm not really interested in watching because I just don't think that works. A book character that you've always wanted to talk to. Of course, I love Anne from Anne of Green Gables, but I also love Jo March from Little Women, so in the interest of kind of breaking away from everything's Anne of Green Gables, I will say Jo March, because I think that I have a lot in common with her and we would get along swimmingly. Author you've always wanted to talk to? Probably Neil Gaiman, I would say. It's glitter time. Favorite book snack? I really, really enjoy Plentals. They are lentil chips. I also recently discovered some chips that are sweet potato crisps, and they are super, super good. So I'm gonna go with those, and popcorn is also a good choice. Very dry ones too, because then you know you're not gonna get crap all over your book. What book world do you want to live in? It's always really tough to answer this question, I feel like, because a lot of the best worlds are the ones that you don't necessarily want to live in. I want to just live maybe in Stardust by Neil Gaiman, because I feel like even though there's trials and tribulations in that fairy world, they're not severely bad, and also I feel like it's got a very whimsical world tone, and you might meet at least some funny types during your journey. Now for a book place that you least want to live in, and that would be probably any dystopian place. All the dystopian places are bad. I'm gonna take a brief pause to do some winged eyeliner because I cannot talk and do that. Ooh, I'm getting villainous. I'm just gonna do really huge wings on my eyes. First of all, because I want to put red dots on them, and second of all, because I don't feel like putting false eyelashes on. Last time you smelled a book, I don't traditionally smell books. That's just not a thing that I do. Weird insults in books. I can't think of one off the top of my head that is like really strong.
It's like not super visible, but I think up close you can see it, and it's
pretty cool. I'm also gonna do a little red dot in the corner of my eye because that's very, I don't know, that's very just the ballerina in me that makes me want to do like a little red spot. Favorite romance book. I do not read traditional romance books, but I do like quirky romance, things like Harold and Maude and Eleanor and Park and stuff like that. And then I also really enjoy classic book romance. The couples that I previously mentioned, all those books that contain those couples, those are the kinds of romance that I like that are kind of like my favorite romances. Do you write? I do write poetry, and I do a magnetic poem every single day on my Instagram. If you want to look at those, it's linked below. And I also write songs because I'm a musician as well as a dance teacher and everything. So I do that kind of writing. Favorite magical item. I don't know, maybe Excalibur? It's not necessarily magical, but it's kind of a really cool sword, and I really love Arthurian legend, and it was given to him by kind of a magical person, the Lady of the Lake, right? So let's just go with that one. Your Quidditch position. I don't know that I would be the best person for this because I've only watched some movies. One of the things that I don't like about the movies or the books is Quidditch, so I guess I would just be the stick in the mud on the sidelines. It's just not my kind of game. Name a song that you connect with a book. Strongly connect the song, The One That Got Away by the Civil Wars with Gone with the Wind, I would say, not just because the duo was called the Civil Wars. It just really fits the Rhett and Scarlet relationship quite a lot. When you forget to do things in your makeup, because I wanted to put some white eyeliner in my waterline. Always forget it whenever I do a video where we're doing makeup. I always forget that I want to do this, but it makes your eyes look bigger. Favorite book chat up line. I don't think I have one, guys, and then it asks you if you've ever used it, and if I don't have one, I've never used it. Favorite book fandom. This is a kind of crazy one because I feel like it takes me a really long time to read the popular books. Back in the day before the movies were like not good and like ruined my experience of the fandom, I was a pretty big twihard. Still love the books though, I just don't like the movies. How many books do you own? So I counted the one room where I keep most of my books one time, and I think in just that one room and like the few that I kept in my bedroom, there were around 400 books, but that was not counting some of the books that I've gotten since then, and also it was not counting any of the instructional kind of books like my dance teaching type books, and also like the huge amount of Bibles that my mom and I and my dad owned. So I'm gonna go maybe 600 plus books. That's just my guess. This is what I use for setting spray. It is rose water.
We'll do a little bit of that.
I wanted to do like a cosplay, like a full-on cosplay outfit, but I don't have any dresses that really look like the dress on the book cover. In the book, Red has a dress made of flesh-eating roses. So I didn't go with that, and I don't have any. This is like the closest thing to a Red outfit that I have. It's just gonna be a from the neck up cosplay experience, but I think you guys can still enjoy it, right? So here is the Red wig situation. I think I want to add some hair accessories just to make up for the lack of cool outfitness. And I'm going to try to maybe get a crown on because she's a Red Queen. I know it's weird that it's blue, but the background is blue, so that's kind of what I'm doing for a reminiscence. And because Red does like her flesh-eating roses, like I said, I'm gonna put some roses, I think, next to it. Maybe too much, I don't know. She's a mad queen.
This is my villainous red makeup inspired look. I'm going to take maybe a bookstagram or two with the book that I can put up on the day when I put this video up. I guess that is it. I'm so excited that I got to do this look finally, and that I also got to do this tag finally. It's just like, yay, it made my day. And that is all for today. I will see you all really soon because I'm going to be doing day 4. I'm gonna skip day 3 and do day 4 challenge. So I'll see you guys then, and thank you for watching, fabulous peeps. Bye.